Yes.
I'm going to
Okay.
take it all the way down to there
Okay.
as I introduce you, and
Okay.
then you are on.
Okay. Awesome.
We're going to take stage left. I'm trying to make sure I back up a little and don't slip off right there. And
Please don't. Yeah.
pop up. And be
Okay.
like, hello.
All right.
Fine.
Please don't. All right. There's Eric back there.
We are live. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm back. Gonna get everyone's attention. I wanted to make sure that I greeted everyone. Someone did come up to me after the morning session and said, you missed one. And I said, well, give it to me because I'm gonna go ahead and say it again. So, assalamu alaikum, buenos dias, bon dia, bonjour, suprabat, and wagwan, and good morning. So I hope I got everyone. If I didn't, find me right after. I wanna grow. Alrighty, welcome to our session on building high-performing teams. As we mark 3 decades of WAC STEM conference, your participation is more important than ever. In a smaller, more focused setting, we have the chance to learn from each other and strengthen our collective impact. Today's session is about harnessing the power of teamwork to turn challenges into opportunities. Our theme, Waves of Change, Oceans of Opportunities, is reflected in every collaboration and every new idea. Thank you for being here and for your commitment to excellence. And let's work together to build teams that will shape the future. Now, I would like to introduce you to our keynote speaker, Arnisha Miller. Arnisha serves as the Senior Vice President of Operations and Strategy at Arkel International, where she oversees the development and execution of business operations, strategic initiatives, and policies aimed at promoting sustainable growth. As a certified project management professional with a foundation in industrial engineering, she possesses substantial experience directing multi-million-dollar programs for both the government and commercial clients in domestic and international settings. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering from Morgan State University and a Master of Science in Systems Engineering from Johns Hopkins University. Arnisha has been an active supporter, speaker, and panelist for WAC and BEA since her time as a student at Morgan State University. So she's been with us a long time. So please welcome Arnisha Miller.
Good morning. Good morning. Can everyone hear me? Everyone's awake? It's early. This temperature, so first I gotta say, I live in Florida. I used to live in Maryland. I'm from Maryland. But once you're in Florida for a while, your blood changes. You ever hear that? I used to think it was just something old people say. No offense to old people. Please do not get into this political correctness. This is a safe space here, safe space. But it is true. Once you're away in a different climate, your body changes and you get acclimated to it. So I did not bring a coat. And I woke up this morning and went outside and I was like, Jesus, I need more than just a suit. So I ran back into my mom's house and I was like, Mom. And she gave me one of her coats and her gloves. And I was like, I forgot how cold Maryland gets in the morning because I was like, it said it was going to be 60. She was like, yeah. In the afternoon when the sun is up. And she said, how do you not know this? Like, you were born here and lived here your whole life. And I was like, okay, yeah, I know. I remember now. First off, I want to say, does everyone know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month? So shout out to all my breast cancer survivors, caretakers, and loved ones, because this year I actually had a close friend of mine who had breast cancer. And it was the first time in my life that I had someone so close to me with breast cancer. And she's a veteran. So I had the experience of going to a VA center to go through chemotherapy, which you've never been through that before. It is an experience. And it was eye-opening to me to see so many of our veterans who have fought for our country in that chemo center by themselves. So believe it or not, I'm an introvert. I really don't talk to a lot of people unless I have to. So when I was in there, it touched my heart because they were by themselves. So I'm in there talking to all kind of people, and I met like World War II veterans. I met Iraq War veterans because they were by themselves. And then I was with my friends, and then I was with her, and she got to ring the bell on September 30th, and she finished all her chemotherapy. So shout out to all the breast cancer survivors. And did you also know October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month? Did everyone know that? Yes? I don't hear all yeses. So for those that did not know, October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. And I'll be happy when we don't have to have a month to be aware of everything, because you gotta like have so many things in a month because there's so many things to be aware of. Can we just be knowledgeable about everything and be careful one another all the time? But October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. So if you shout out to anyone who has a family member or loved one with Down syndrome and taking care of them, if you follow me on LinkedIn, I did 2 posts about Down syndrome awareness and one about breast cancer, and put out some useful information if you want to learn more. But I'm on to today's topics, building high-performing teams and the future of technology. I'm going to start off by saying, bear with me today. I'm going to roll through this. And if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand. And I want it to be interactive. I want you to ask questions. You can pick my brain about anything, and I'm going to just pop through it. What's a high-performing team? By definition, this is not Anisha's definition. This is what Dr. Google says. Dr. Google says a high-performing team is a group of individuals with specific roles and complementary talents and skills aligned with and committed to a common purpose who consistently show high levels of collaboration and innovation that produce superior results. Has anyone in here been on a high-performing team? About a quarter. How'd it work out for you? Did you get superior results? Yes? Did you like it? Was everybody on the high-performing team a high-performing individual? Oh, that was a resounding no. Okay, all right, okay. Characteristics of a high-performing team. Shout out some of the characteristics of that team for the people that said they weren't a high-performing team. Okay? Agility, yes. What else? Adaptability. Innovative. Synergy. Transparency. Anything else? So I've listed here some characteristics that I came up with. Clear roles and responsibilities. To me, high-performing teams have clear roles. Who is doing what and who's responsible for what? Feedback. How do you get feedback? If you're in a team and stuff's not going well, because all teams are not high-performing, as we know, and even high-performing teams, all things don't always go right all the time. How do you get feedback? Share goal and purpose. We can all be on the car, but if and we can take different cars, but are we going in the same direction? And then are we taking the same path? So open and consistent communication. We need to, sometimes we've been taught that conflict is bad. Oh, they're butting heads. Uh-oh. Conflict is good. I want conflict. If everybody's in there, oh, happy-go-lucky, it's Disney time, I'm scared. I am mortified because if this Disney Channel up in that camp, I feel like something is going wrong. So they're not telling me something, work is not getting done, it's some tomfoolery, foolishness going on, and now I'm going to be micromanaging because something's amiss. When do you know any project or any team that everything is always good? So team building sessions. Every now and then on a team, you have to stop and just do something that's just for the team, not about the work, not about the project. I'm from Maryland originally, so during football season, even though I have on purple eyeshadow because I was trying to be conservative because it's a keynote, but I have on purple eyeshadows. It's Purple Fridays. So big up Ravens, even though we're not looking too good right now. But I would do football, like football season. We'd have Rep Your Team Fridays. So I wouldn't make it just about football, even though it was about football. So it was Rep Your Team Fridays. And then we go out for happy hour. just as a team building, not talking about work or doing anything, but you have to know your team and whatever works well. Celebrate successes, big and small. Hey, we just completed that milestone. We just completed that project. We just completed that build. We just completed whatever, that thing is. Celebrated. Strong leadership. Just because a person is in a leadership role doesn't mean they're a leader. True?
True.
If the leadership is weak, chances are your team is going to be weak and not high performing. It starts at the top. And again, it's another cliche that as you in your career or in your teams and your projects, you're going to find it's really true. It's not a cliche. It's a true factual statement. Courage. You have to have courage on a team because you're going to want to bless their souls sometimes for some of the foolishness that's going on, but you can't because you're at work. You're going to have to take that outside and take it home and not really say what you want to say. And then you want to have that risk. You're going to be able to take risks. But it should be a balanced risk, a calculated risk. How to turn high performers into high performing team. So sometimes if you have a group of high performing individuals and you throw them all together and you say, oh my goodness, I have all these type A's, I have all these ENTJs. Everybody familiar with ENTJ? Myers-Briggs? Yes, no? Yes? Okay. So you have all these high performers, and you throw them all in a team and you think, oh, we're going to knock it out the park. Instead of the schedule taking 12 months, it's going to take 9 months. It doesn't always turn out that way. Because just because you're individually a high performer doesn't mean you can get on a team and work well together. Because sometimes, especially some of those, and no offense to ENTJs, but some of those ENTJs, they are so ENTJ that they don't work well with others. And if you throw them on a team, they're not about the team, they're about themselves. So you have to look at the combination of the team, and you have to kind of model the expectations and accountability. You have to give some shared ownership. You have to align the goals to celebrate, collective outcomes. You have to make it about the collective. Has anybody had an experience where you had a bunch of high performers and you threw them on a team and it didn't work out? What happened? Huh? It failed. Miserably? So then again, I think it's important to clarify collective and individual contributions, and you want to foster connection, and you want to set the tone and define the roles. So another key one, and I don't know if you've heard this or done this before, I call it this design for symbiosis. So to your point, I'm an engineer too. You got a bunch of engineers. You know how some of us are, right? So when you're setting up that team, you got to design for that, and you got to keep that in mind. So when you're putting that project together, if you know, okay, Anisha is an engineer and she's an introvert and she really don't like to talk to people, let me give her a set of tasks that she can do kind of on her own, but it helps the collective. So that's how you set that team up collectively for success, but also for individual success and collective success. But sometimes we don't do that. We just kind of think, oh, Anisha's great at what she does, and we're going to put her on this team and then force her to work with the team and talk to people and be in 50,000 meetings and she don't like to talk to people, and then wonder why it's going to fail. Because we didn't design for symbiosis. We designed for just a high-performing team, which are not necessarily the same thing. And then replace control with curiosity to build ownership. So I think sometimes as leaders and managers, we, especially those who like to micromanage and control the situation a lot, we lose track of those engineers, especially the ones that are curious and love to continuous learning and love to keep going and creating. We take away that idea of entrepreneurship. So when you're working in a company, it's entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur because the company owns your intellectual property. But you should foster it. You should encourage it and not try to control it. So don't control it. You build it. You push it. Oh, I want you to go create the next best thing while you're working for Lockheed Martin or Raytheon or Northrop or Boeing or Honeywell or L3 Harris. Please do, because then I own it as L3 Harris. You'll get credit, but I own it. So please do. I want you to do that. But if you were doing it on your own ABC Joe company, then you own it on your own time. So I think that when you have that mindset as a leader, you change the mindset that it's okay. I don't have to control it. I need to foster it and I need to push it out and let you own that freedom to do that. It helps. And you also need to balance character, confidence, and capacity. So that, what I mean by that is we all have different, call them character. So when I say character, it's not just moral character, it's characters. You have some characters at work. You know what I mean? You're laughing at it because I'm trying to say it as politically correct as possible. The workplace is made up of all types of people, all types, and you have to deal with all types, especially in our current political environment. It's all type of people, and freedom of speech is on a new level of high, and people feel open to say things that they haven't previously said in the workplace. And you have to be able to maintain your composure and still complete your work. And you may be on a team with someone that has different views than you have, and they may feel free. You may not feel comfortable with them expressing those views, but you still got to be on that team and you still got to complete your tasks, and you probably need them to complete your tasks. So I'll give you an example. I was just recently on a call with a person that very clearly had a what is it? I believe in Jesus and Trump. And then this is on a professional call. So that's not necessarily my personal view, and I necessarily wouldn't put those two things in the same nor would I have it as my background on a professional call. I mean, that's not something I would personally do, and it's not my view. And I didn't comment on it. I know my face probably did because I'm one of those people, but I tried to pick my face up off the floor and continue on with the meeting. But that was that. They believe in Jesus and Trump. That's how they feel. And they feel okay that in a professional work environment, I can have my background belief. I believe in Jesus and Trump. I want to let you know who I am. This is who I am. I don't care if you like it or not. And that's kind of the current environment we're in. So if you have a team and one of your team members, that's who they are, you I know, I see some faces too. That's how my face was too. And I was like, okay, this is who I'm working with. Let's work. I was like, long as Jesus and Trump get this work done. I don't know. What would Jesus do? I hope he can get this work done. But you have to balance that now. And it is a different reality than even, before the prior presidential term that we were dealing with. Because I don't recall 5 years ago seeing, I love Jesus and Joe Biden. Like, I don't recall seeing that. Like, I didn't. I didn't even see I love Jesus and Obama. I didn't see that either. I didn't even see I love Jesus and Clinton. So this is a new norm right now. And it's different. So models for high performing teams. So these are 3 of the most popular models. Has anybody heard of these? Yeah? 1 hand? 2? Couple? These slides will be available afterwards. So we'll make sure they're available. The first one is Tuckman stages. Teams grow through forming, storming, norming, performing. So Even though you may have not heard of the formal name of what the model is, it's Tuxman stages. You may have heard forming, storming, norming, performing. The second is the dysfunctions, trust, conflict, commitment, accountability, results. This is where you kind of diagnose when your team is failing. You want to diagnose why your team is failing. Typically, when teams fail, it's because of one of those 5 reasons. There's a lack of trust. You have too much conflict. There's a lack of commitment. There's a lack of accountability, and you're not delivering results. Those are the 5 most, one of those 5 reasons are why teams fail. If you go do any type of failure modes effect analysis, a fishbone diagram, anything like that, it'll come back to one of those 5 things. I'll bet you money on that. And then the last one, Katzbach and Smith, small, complementary, purpose-driven, accountable teams. You know, it's just how you form teams. You know, they say the best teams are smaller teams, aligned, you know, in a project. So this is something to keep in mind when if you have the opportunity to form a team on your own, or if you're in a team and you didn't get to form it, because a lot of times we don't get to form a team or just put on a team. You can observe some of these things happening, and you can modify your behavior accordingly. You can't change other people, you can change yourself. So we're going to switch. The other part of this presentation is the future of technology. So for this part, I'm going to hit you with a whole bunch of just data because I'm an engineer. But it's going to be available. The future of the workforce in the U.S. is being reshaped by rapid technological advancements, particularly in AI, automation, and remote work, leading to both challenges and opportunities for workers. The impact of technology on employment, AI and automation, high demand careers, remote work trends. The keys to the future, adaptability, continuous learning, e.g. STEM, so woohoo to everybody in this room, policy and economic decisions. So if anyone in here has 401k, the stock market, S&P is going up, just so you know, if you follow it over the year. But it's directly tied to what's going on with policies. So these tariffs, and if you just saw our president just pardon the guy from Bitcoin, but all these things are related. So people think that things are happening haphazardly. They're not. So they're all tied to the stock market and what's happening in the stock market. So if you see some of these people that are being pardoned that are tied to finance and to cyber, the stock market is changing. You see the tariffs that are happening, the stock market is changing. And if you're in the stock market, it affects your 401k. So I advise you to pay attention for our people that are mid-career level executive to what's happening with these policy decisions, because these policies and decisions are affecting your economics and your 401k and your retirement. So those are the keys to the future, because the decisions and things that are being made today are going to impact you in the future. The technology trends shaping the modern workforce. So I'll pull just a whole bunch of data. So AI, of course, cloud computing, zero trust networks. So, you know, it's come out, which I think it's come out, you know, in my opinion, this is just Anisha's opinion, not representing any company or organization, that China has been hacking into our critical infrastructure successful at it. SaaS. And if you know right now, as a service, everything is a software as a service, platform as a service, everything is as a service. The impact of AI in the professional environment. AI job openings have increased by 12%. More than half of professionals will change their roles. AI will impact millennials and Gen Z and I should have put Gen Alpha the most. The skills of 65% of jobs will have changed by 2030. That's 5 years from now. It's not that far. AI-related senior positions will triple in 5 years. Right now, Harvard is offering AI for leaders course for $1,850. It's a course you can take online, and that's just showing you how quickly AI is changing and how important it is and how prevalent it is. At Harvard is saying, hey, leaders that you're currently in, you don't have time to go back to go get a master's degree in it, but we're going to give you this leaders course in AI to at least make you smart, because you're not going to be able to even understand everything that's happening if you don't get some kind of knowledge. So that's Harvard Business School if you're interested in that. For my ladies, this is for you. It may be hard to see, so I'll read off some of these stats. The future of tech workforce is her, and this is from Women Leaders in Technology. 33% of tech leaders are largely males. 22% IT is presented as a multi-dominated field. 14% say there's a lack of work-life balance. 14% education institutions do not encourage girls to pursue tech careers. Why are women underrepresented in technology? Here are the top 4 answers. 8 in 10 women report supporters are male. 9 out of 10 women are concerned about the number of women in the tech field. 1 in 5 organizations very concerned about advancing women in tech roles, and 1 in 5 organizations not connecting women in advancing tech roles. So this is a study that they conducted just about women in technology. And the top 5 barriers experienced by women in technology: 48% say there are a lack of mentors, 42% say a lack of female role models in the field, 39% gender bias in the workplace, 36% say unequal growth opportunities, 35% unequal pay. And then on the bottom, you see the gender bias and then unequal pay charts. So for my ladies, what do you think of the stats? I know it's a whole lot of data really quickly. What's your experience? Is that data true? You think? Yes, for my working ladies? Yes? Does anyone experience bias in the workplace? Yes? Unequal pay? Lack of mentors? Yeah.
The unequal pay for women is across all. That's just a fact. Women just don't get equal pay in your leadership job. But the encouragement or the mentorship to be in the technology industry, I mean, how do you fix that? Because the men that are in control are the only ones who do that.
So the pay, so I'll start with the pay. And then you are responsible for you. You have to advocate for you. I found that women, especially women of color, do not negotiate or advocate their salaries or for promotions as a leader. This is what I found. So My last organization I ran, I won't say the company. It was a $500 million P&L organization. I had 4 directors, over 1,000 people. So I saw a lot of, have a lot of, it's a large data point. And I looked at all, so for 1,000 people, I saw all the salary increases, I saw all the raises, I saw all the promotions, because I looked at everything, because I was looking at it from a different perspective than, because everybody under me was not a woman. Like, all my leaders were not women. They were all male, and they were all white male. So I wanted to make sure when I went in, I went with a different lens, because I'm not white male. And no, not one person came back and challenged their merit increase. Not one person came back and challenged if they were not getting a raise. I found it fascinating. Even the people that were rated the highest performance rating and got a glowing review. So think about that. So, I mean, and this is something for you to think about. You don't have to answer me now, but it's something you may want to take home and consider the next time you get a performance evaluation. If you have been rated the highest you can be possibly rated, and you've been consistently rated that way, and your merit increase is only 2%, why? Why? Why not ask for more? What do you have to lose? Yes. Yeah.
But along the way, I've had many people that taught me that. And so I advocate for myself, and I'm mentoring those people to be able to be advocates for themselves. So I work for a computer company, or IT company, technology company, and I mentor a lot of people. And I will tell them, if they have to verbatimly write down what I told them, they will write it down, and then they will go in and have those conversations with your manager about salary or what have you. I challenged my own manager this year about my DDP, which is a bonus that's given out based on how well the company did overall. And I said, I don't agree. And one person didn't know how to handle me, but I went to my boss, and she compensated me very well. And again, I come from, I'm a baby boomer. I come from an environment where my father was a sharecropper, my mother cleaned people's houses, and they could not, it was yes sir, yes ma'am, not me, but not by any means being negative about how my parents raised us. But I learned along the way what I need to be an advocate for myself and anybody that I mentor. And so I make sure they understand that, young and old. And I will continue to do that even when I retire from this company. It's about being able to understand who you are, and not being afraid. And I know culture-wise, people don't necessarily want to do that, and they might not be taught that. But we have an obligation to those of us to understand. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry back.
Wasn't until for me, exactly mid of my career, to start understanding how to negotiate. And Patricia said here that she had mentors, I had mentors, and they would coach me on what to say and what not to say in a negotiation meeting. But my in sharing these sentiments with my takeaways here, and I'm sure with some regular people in the room, and this isn't a question that has to be answered right now, but as we leave this meeting and take away, what strategies that we can employ. I'm from academia, so teaching our students how to negotiate once they get into the workforce, especially our students who may be employed in the workforce. And I know we're not using a lot of now, but we still are a minority in the career. For me, to a woman here, still the only African American, the only American, native born American, and the only female, and the only one under a certain age with that same area of economics they find in work. So we're still going through and still breaking glass ceilings. Glass ceilings is breaking glass ceilings. So this book strategy you can use to employ to just be able to to advocate for ourselves to make sure that we are being valued in our workplace.
Right. So I'm going to do a quick answer and then I'm going to come to you. So I think that one of the quickest strategies to self-advocate, and I recommend it for everyone, academia, students, just as a student, I recommend you do it now and then continue it when you get into the workforce. You need to start writing down your accomplishments as you go throughout the year. Don't wait till performance time. You need to write down your accomplishments and assess a value to it. What is it worth? Put a numerical number to it. If you are part of a winning proposal team or if you are working on a research project, how much was the research project worth? You worked on a proposal and you won it. It was a $450 million proposal. We won. You were part of the production, the engineering, the whatever. You worked on research, you worked on design, whatever it was, put math. You wrote a 500-page system requirements document. You did start putting some concrete numbers to your accomplishments and document them throughout. You were a member of this organization. You did X number of presentations. You attended so many courses. You did this. Add value to your accomplishments and your results and document them throughout the year and have a conversation about it. And do research and compare it out to what's going out in the world in the industry. Keep your resume current and up to date all the time, and just Google what other resumes are for people who have your same job title or your same role. And then when you go in to negotiate, you want to make it it seems like it's an uncomfortable conversation. It will be for your manager, depending on the level of your manager and how good your manager is, to be quite honest. If your manager is mature and experienced and has been doing this for a while, it shouldn't be that awkward of a conversation. I can have these conversations with my eyes closed. You come to me with the data and the value and show me that what your return on human capital is, and that's a statistic. Return on human capital. So when you look at a business looks at return on investment, ROI. You want to talk about your return on human capital. You are the human capital in a business. So you want to present what your return is to that company and kind of come up with that number. That's just a quick. I think at Bayer or one of them, they talked about these strategies. I don't think it's at this conference. But if you want more information, I'll make sure my information is available and I can give out some more. Young lady right here.
On that point regarding the lack of inclusion, I think that as a collective, we are trying to tackle disparities to the game. So studies show that the most pivotal years for retention is for fifth, sixth, and eighth graders. And so I think that there is a lack of availability of resources for that age range. So if we know that at that age range is the point in which people are making their ultimate career decisions, of course, there's little room to move around with that. That we need to be establishing retention programs for that age range and exposing students to programs and resources that they can then make the decision to go further.
So what I would say is, I would tell you and argue that there are a ton of programs available. I think that people don't know about them. So, for example, Dr. Calvin Mackey with STEM NOLA, that's someone who travels all over every state. He's everywhere. STEM NOLA is out in New Orleans. Dr. Mackey would be here doing a program, and he does K through 12. He's everywhere doing that program. Does everyone know about Dr. Calvin Mackey? No. Well, you do. He's like, I do. Huh? Oh, you're from New Orleans. Yeah. So you guys do. but not everybody knows about him. Dr. Mackey was just in Florida. Dr. Mackey, I saw him up in here. I first met him here in Baltimore. He was up here doing a program in Baltimore. He has STEM NOLA. So there are resources available. So the question is, how do we get the resources that we know that are available out more prevalent in industry? I think CCG has a ton of information they have available on resources. There's this conference, there's the BEA conference in February that is open to K through 12. And they have programs for things like that, but not everyone knows. So I'll give the action back to CCG to make some of those resources available and push it out more to the community so that that they know. Who else? Somebody else had a question. Yes, ma'am.
Just building on what we've been talking about, especially in this vein of, knowing where the resources are focused. We talked earlier about the climate that we're in and a lot of the shifts that are happening to be able to have the more targeted focuses on who's being largely impacted from a lot of the disparities that we're talking about. So what are your thoughts on how do we continue the drumbeat, to continue resourcing, going to areas to explicitly focus on women, to explicitly focus on communities of color, so we don't further those disparities?
So in full transparency, so my trip here had to be self-funded because there is no DEI anymore. But I didn't have a problem paying for it because it's important to me. But I mean, that's the cost of what you believe in and what you think is right and what you do. So part of it is going to be, how committed are you to this? How committed are you to women? How committed are you to making a difference? How committed are you to the change? So the path forward is going to be with each and every individual and kind of moving it forward and trying to build together the coalition. So we talk about mentoring. You want mentoring, look around this room. How many contacts have you made? How many connections have you made? So people I met at this conference when I was a student, age myself real quick, I graduated from Morgan in 2000. So I was sitting at these tables. I still am connected with some of these people. When I first walked in here, I gave Matt Bowman a hug. I met him here. I still have connections with people from all kinds of companies that I met here. My friend Donnell Campbell, he lives in Detroit. When Women of Color used to be in Detroit. When I go to Detroit for there, we go hang out. We go, he DJs, he's a DJ. We go, like, again, I made those connections. We're not even in the same industry, but still make those connections. Get the mentors here. I met Dr. Donna Bell. She used to work for Ford. Again, met her at Women of Color. So we've been connected for 15 years, and she became a mentor. Use this space and spaces like this to make those mentors, to make those friends, to network, to get advice, to screen your resume, to it's what it's for. And some of those connections you make may be for, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. You don't know until you try. Who else had a question? Okay, we're about to run out of time. Future work trends. Expertise, this is from Gartner. Expertise gap intensifies. Organizations redesign to prepare for the tech. Employees embrace bots over bosses. Organizations, they gotta work on fraud. Fraud is one of the biggest threats right now going forward because it's so prevalent. Loneliness. Did anyone think that loneliness would become a challenge, a business challenge? With remote work, people are at home by themselves, especially our single people or single people with no kids. They're at home by themselves, and if they don't have any pets and just at home, they're lonely. They don't have any interaction, no social interaction. And it's becoming a risk. Mental health is a real thing. Organizations shift focus to inclusion and belonging with unexpected benefits. Fastest growing jobs and declining jobs by 2030. This is from the World Economic Forum. If you do not follow the World Economic Forum, you should. Although we may not be looking at it, it's more going on besides some of the tomfoolery that's going on in the US right now. There's a whole world out there that is shaping what's going on in the world. And they actually, you know, like China, Asia, they're advancing in technology that we're not. So it's important to look from a world perspective. So big data specialists, fine tech engineers, AI. So you can see the list. I'm not going to go through the whole list. This will be available. And this is this report is for 2025, so this is the latest one. By 2030, as many as 375 million workers are expected to switch jobs as a result of AI. 71% of industry leaders expect widespread adoption of AI and robotics, and manufacturing accounts for 14% of employment. This is what the people say, not me. I just report the news. Thank you. And this is my closing statement. As we look ahead, the future of technology holds limitless potential. By embracing innovation and transformation, we have the power to shape the waves of change, driving progress, redefining possibilities, and building a brighter tomorrow together. See you next time. Any more questions? Nothing.
Thank you so much for joining us, and let's thank Anisha for the keynote address because it was amazing. I just want to say, especially to the ones of you who mentioned mentorship and looking for mentors that either look like you or can help inspire you in your career. You are at the right place. You're at what? Bea is in February. That's the other place where you want to be. SimCityUSA.com. Other place where you want to be. Workforce development. That's the other place where you want to be. Everything is SimCityUSA, and that's all through us. So we hear you. We're listening. And like Anisha said, I look back and I saw a video of her back in 2016. And she was talking about how many mentors, how many professionals she met, how many relationships she made, how active she was in Bea, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna use that. I put that in because I wanted everyone to know that's what this is like. That's what you get when you come to walk. That's what you get when you come to Bea. You get a family, a connection, people who are here to watch you succeed. They're putting everything under your feet. Pulling the curtains back. So these are the ladders to success, line. They're showing you the doors of opportunity. And they're saying, kick them open. And for the ones that don't notice the glass ceiling as much, that's because the women before you, like Anisha, all of the founders of WAP 30 years ago, they crashed through that. And as many of you know, there's a lot of construction going on right now. So we don't want that to be rebuilt over our heads, over our careers. So take notice and let's build each other up. Let's support. Let's be here at WAP. Let's be here at Bea and take advantage of all of the networking connections. So thank you. Enjoy the weekend. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
I just watched you on our live stream. You were fabulous. Yeah, and it's so funny because